But let me tell you who's not standing back and standing by.
Who?
Viola Davis.
Oh, God, what's going on?
Shout out to Viola Davis. So in a recent interview she did with InStyle, she speaks for demanding her worth in the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, essentially, she said in quotes, I want to get expected the same filet mignon as my white actors get. She did a whole quote talking about like how black actresses get like the leftovers.
Or leftover roles, like leftover roles.
And this is like the third maybe time she speaks out about this. I remember she talked about how, if I'm the black Meryl Streep, I need to get paid.
I need to give Meryl Streep's money. And I need to be looked at as one of the leading female actresses. I think
and we look at Viola Davis, she is a exceptional.
She has the range.
She has the range. So, this is her saying this is, I don't even think she's even speaking for herself, because I think she has those roles. Like, I don't think she has any leftover roles. I think maybe she thinks
whatever role she gets, she makes it her own, and we appreciate.
Yeah, and I think that she might be talking to the other black actresses, because we don't really see them a lot. It's not a lot that are doing
we get to a point where we see the same like 4 or 5 things. Like, we got Regina King out here slaying the game. You got Taraji P. Henson.
Yeah.
Viola Davis. Kerry Washington was in that mix for a while. And you have a lot of some of the newer black female faces. I look forward to seeing
like what about
Shahidi. She's probably going to end up blowing a little more in the next couple
Ryan
of years.
Destiny, the girl from Star. She was
Ryan Destiny.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
So I think that Viola Davis is in a great position, because she's one of those actresses that carries her roles very well. She is an Oscar award-winning actress. And, there are 2 different fights going on in Hollywood about women demanding the same amount of pay as their male co-stars. And now it's also about black women being treated and commanding the same type of roles that their white counterparts do. My issue with what she's saying is that for some of the stories, because, I understand being a black actor or a black actress in Hollywood, you want to be able to compete for those high paying, studio films. Like, you want those roles that Meryl Streep's going to get in, because they're going to get great backing. Like, you know what I mean? And you want to be in those roles and be considered for those things. However, as a black actress, like, when people are writing things, some people, the writers for those studios, they consider your race for those movies. They consider, like, well, if we cast a black person, this now goes from it just being a love story, or it goes from it being, a story, just a story, to now being a race story about an interracial couple. Or now it goes into being something else. Like, race is heavily politicized in our country right now. So, like you said, you think she's talking to other black actresses. I'm like, if nothing else, we should be fighting for black writers to start getting the same amount of money that the white writers are getting, so that they can pay black actresses that much. Because, or the studios. Like, that's why we're looking to people like Tyler Perry and his studios to be able to pull in that type of money and create a safe space for black writers and producers to be able to fund their films in a way that is comparable to white Hollywood. And it's crazy that we always find ourselves in a way trying to compete with these people.
What do you mean compete with these people?
Because it's always like, well, I want to get as much as they got, or we want to be able to.
We should want that.
I get it as far as like equality, but in my head, it's like, we know that we can produce better stuff with less. We know that. We've seen it, that we can produce better quality things with less. We're resourceful people. And I get to fight the rat race of trying to be neck and neck and feeling disenfranchised, but
I don't think it's more of a status thing. I think it's like, hey, I'm doing the same thing this one's doing, but she gets more money than me because she's white. Right. I just want that same money. You get what I'm saying?
But I just said that.
That's all it is.
I know, and I just said I recognize that, and I was speaking on that, wanting that craving to want that all the time. Like, I get it, wanting to feel fair and to feel equal, and having that action behind it. Because if I'm doing the same amount of work, or if I'm doing it better than her, then why is she getting paid more than me?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that I don't understand the principle behind it. I do. But I also feel like some of that focus, some of that energy could be invested in us creating it. Because I want to get to the day where it's like, well, while we're focused on trying to catch up to them, we could be investing in our own stuff, building up to a way we could look back at them and laugh at them, because now you're not making nearly as much as we can make. Black people are the highest spending consumers in America. So if we were able to invest that money back into ourselves that we'd be spending to go and put in other people's communities, we'd have Viola Davis sitting on stage saying, you know, I'm going to be fighting for white women to get as much money as I'm making off these movies.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the time
Right.
we're striving for, but it's unfortunate that we're still playing backfield at this point when we know for a fact that we can do more with less. We are equipped to do more with less.
I think we got it down to a science when it comes to the music industry, but the film industry.
Yeah, one thing at a time. And like with sporting, like I'm still waiting. I'm like, the whole idea about black athletes make up
But I will say this though, it started with, you know, because there was a time in the music industry where artists weren't getting this was the same conversation that these actors are having now, and they fought to get those deals that they got today. So I think and they're still owned.
You're still owned by white companies. You're just fighting for more money to be owned by somebody else.
So I think I think
I want to be the highest paid slave.
It's going to have to be more than Viola Davis speaking out about this type of stuff. But right. I think a lot of the newer actresses don't want to do that, because it's going to be, hey, Hollywood
it's controversial.
It's controversial, and Hollywood love to blackball you on your ass. They love to blackball anybody. They can blackball anything.
Interesting power dynamics. But let me tell you, I think I posted something today. Can't nobody unseat you from where God has placed you.
Yes, you did. You did.
So. In regards to like following careers, especially when it comes to the arts, it can be so tricky because people literally make billions of dollars off the backs of people who may never see $1 million. And it's sad that we have to fight for our just due and understanding how this system works. But I will forever believe, it's a hill that I will die on, that Black people are so blessed. We are a blessed people. No matter how many times we look through history and we can focus on the things that make us appear to be cursed. Our testimony is that you can't get rid of us, and we always come out stronger.
Exactly.
Stronger. You can't say that for a lot of other people. The stuff that our people have gone through, most will crumble. Anyway. So shout out to Viola Davis for being a soldier out there. Like,
being a soldier, honey.
Keep fighting.
Yeah.
And raising your voice and demanding that we get our just due, but also at the same time, like, build up those Black writers. Let's make sure that we're highlighting them, and that, you know, when it comes time for us to
and we do have Tyler Perry Studios, so it's like we got the Black Hollywood.
Yeah, we have to support the Black film festivals too. Like, that's another part of it. And I think that's what we're missing. It's like, even with politics, we always talk about the presidential election because it's like the pimple. It's the mountaintop of the elections, but we don't focus on what's happening in the valley and what's happening at the base for us to get there, so that change can actually happen. It's not just about what happens at these major studio movies and these artists and these actors that are signed to major studio deals. Like, we need to make sure that we're supporting Black theater locally. We need to make sure that we're supporting these Black art schools. We need to make sure that we are, helping and donating to these scholarship programs that allow Black kids to take summer school or take acting classes or take dance classes or take these things. So that's where it starts. We have to start at the bottom and build up our foundation so that as they rise, there won't be anything to be said, because there'll be so many of them to choose from. You'll be like, damn, I got to figure out which Black actress to pick now. And not just rotating the same 4, because you have so many talented Black men that can dance, so many talented Black women and a multi-raced people who have these same talents, and sometimes better. Give them the coin.
Give them the coin, honey. Give them the coin. But it would be nice. I mean, it would be nice to be acknowledged in Hollywood, though. I mean, it's something that I know a lot of actors hope for. I spelled that wrong. But But it's because I know I used to want to be an actor. Like that was one of my things that I wanted to do when I was in high school. Didn't have the resources, but that was one thing I wanted to be in Hollywood. I wanted to go to the Oscars, get an Oscar, and all that type of stuff. Like, but you know, once you get there, with some people, it's hard to get it because a lot of like you said, a lot of directors aren't hiring black casts because the stories that they make, it's not for black people. Not
particularly for black audience.
Yeah.
It's for the majority.
And if I add a black person as a main character on it, then I have to do research and because that's really what it boils down to. Like you got to do research on this character because you just can't have these characters aren't one dimensional. That's one thing my screenwriter teacher told us this semester. As I'm writing a script, I'm actually writing a script for a movie, and it's like your characters can't be one dimensional. Like you have to really explore. You know, you have to develop them, essentially. So it's it'll be nice though. It just would be nice to be acknowledged. That's all. This is all I'm saying.
It's coming more, but I feel like we won't be. I won't say that we won't be satisfied, but I think that over time we've seen that there have been some progress there, but we still have a long ways to go. Yeah.
Yes, we do.